already know that he has speed, he's got power. I know he's moving up in weight class, can he carry it? But those intangibles, I believe that he has them.
And then Canelo's older. Crawford has the ability, but he's small, and he can look bigger Crawford could look bigger in the weigh-ins and all that stuff, but it's always a difference. When you get in that fight with somebody, you can tell. Same thing with Jamel. Jamel fought him, the twin. He fought Crawford, and in all the stuff, the weigh-ins and the press conference.
Too fast and too smart for Canelo. Even Canelo is a good boxer. I'm not saying nothing from Canelo.
Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Bud Crawford. Power versus skill size versus IQ. Some say Canelo's too big. Others say Crawford's too smart. But could this be the fight that shocks the boxing world? Let's break it all down. Veteran trainer Teddy Atlas hasn't minced words. He believes Terence Crawford has what it takes to beat Canelo, no matter the weight class. Atlas praises Crawford's adaptability, discipline, and drive, saying those qualities make him the sharper fighter today. In contrast, he claims Canelo is no longer the same hungry warrior, arguing that recent performances show decline. Atlas even went as far as calling Canelo overrated when compared to Crawford for him. Crawford's sharpness and mentality make him the favorite to win.
That the urgency's not there, the fire's not there. At least it wasn't there a week ago. At least I'd say that. It wasn't there a week ago. Maybe it'll be there now. Maybe he's the kind of guy that, and I get it, that at this point in their career, it has to be a big fight to get up. That Canelo can't get up for these fights. He couldn't get up for that fight. All right, if you want to go down that road, go ahead. But my road is still possible. That he got old, that it just doesn't have that fire no more. Oh my God, I'm going to say this one. That maybe he's a little overrated. I listen, I know he's tremendous. He's tremendous. But could he be a tiny bit overrated? If you look at some of his biggest fights, the fights where you had to be great to win, that you fought great fighters or near great fighters, you can make the argument that he lost the first Triple G. He didn't embarrass himself, but he got a draw. Second one, you can make the argument he lost that. I know it was a different kind of fight, and he got better. But you can make that. You can make the argument he lost to Lara. He did lose to Mayweather. You can make the argument he was too young in his career. Maybe, although it wasn't that young. He turned pro when he was 15 or 16.
I Just Mean Machine, who shared the ring with Crawford, agrees. He believes size won't matter in this fight. In his eyes, Crawford's intelligence, adaptability, and timing make him far too smart for Canelo. Mean Machine describes Bud as one of the most calculated fighters of his generation, capable of adjusting mid-fight and dismantling any opponent. For him, Crawford's ability to control pace, distance, and rhythm means this fight favors the man with sharper tools, and that's clearly Terence Crawford.
No, it's not good for Crawford. Canelo's too big. Right now, my position changed. I think Crawford is too fast and too smart for Canelo. Even Canelo is a good boxer. I'm not saying nothing from Canelo, but the way when you see oh, he's too big, when you see Usyk fights and what Usyk did to the big guys like Joshua and Fury, so the size of that doesn't matter. I think the skill level matters, and Crawford, he gained weight, but I think he's gonna be even faster, and his head was good in the ring. His boxing IQ is just on top. So I would say 50-50, but right now I'm kind of leaning more to Crawford.
And that's just because of what you saw Usyk do?
It's not I'm just giving an example. Size doesn't matter in the boxing. When they say Canelo is big and he's fighting 175, 168, and Crawford just moving from 147, 154. So I'm just putting an example that size doesn't matter, and that the fighter makes the fight. I think it's just that I see that Crawford's training and that he's big too right now. So he gained weight, but not and lots of people gain weight that sloppy weight, I would say fat, but he gained he looked strong, massively strong. So I think it's gonna be a good one.
How did Terence feel physically when you faced him? How is his strength? Because a lot of people do make the point that Canelo's just maybe too big, too powerful for Crawford?
Crawford, I wouldn't say like his punches was like super strong, but his timing and accuracy is what makes difference.
Mean Machine even drew a comparison to Canelo's 2013 fight with Floyd Mayweather. Back then, a younger Canelo was schooled by Floyd's speed, defense, and ring generalship. He believes Crawford can use a similar strategy, movement, precision, and smart counterpunching to frustrate Canelo and neutralize his weapons. But there's a key difference. Today's Canelo has far more experience, patience, and adaptability than he did against Mayweather. That makes this matchup even more intriguing.
They throw hard, but they just throw. And he throws like his calculation for the punches and like timing and aiming to the right spots is just like on another level.
Do you think that's going to be the thing that complicates the fight the most for Canelo?
I think so, yeah. And like, yeah, we can go back a little bit to Mayweather Canelo, and Canelo was young and like Mayweather smart, but it can be like familiar fight like that. Even Canelo right now have more experience, and Crawford is still on his prime. So yeah, we'll see.
From just your experience, knowing boxing, like how do you think the fight will play out? Do you think it'll be a slow fight? Do you think it'll be tactical? Like, do you think Crawford?
I think it's gonna start a little bit slowly. They're gonna be careful with each other just to kind of like measure each other and see where they at. And like they're like that's why like they're like champs and they're like great ones. They just don't go like crazy like from the first round.
Regis Prograis has a very different take. He doubts Crawford's punches can truly hurt a granite chin, naturally bigger fighter like Canelo. He points out that Canelo has eaten bombs from some of the hardest hitters in boxing and barely flinched. Still, Prograis doesn't count Bud out completely. He acknowledges Crawford's skill, strategy, and ability to switch stances, saying that even without knockout power, Crawford's technique makes him a dangerous opponent for anyone, including Canelo.
I think that Crawford has the ability to outbox Canelo. You gotta look at, and then Canelo's older. Crawford has the ability, but he's small, and he can look bigger Crawford could look bigger in the weigh-ins and all that stuff, but it's always a difference. When you get in that fight with somebody, you can tell. Same thing with Jamel. Jamel fought him, the twin. He fought Crawford, and in all the stuff, the weigh-ins and the press conference, Jamel looked like the bigger man. His head, his neck, everything looked bigger. But when they got in the fight, you can tell. You can see who really was the bigger man. And I think that's the same thing. Crawford is putting on weight, but it's not weight. Like Canelo had the weight already. He doesn't have to put on muscle. He doesn't have to do that. He's already big like that. But I think that Crawford does have the style. He does have the style to beat him. If you look at the people that beat him or gave him troubles, Irislan, De Lara, Austin Trout, Floyd, and Bivol, they gave him trouble and stuff like that. And Skull moved around a little bit too. So I think that Crawford has that, but I don't know how Crawford is gonna respond when he gets hit. Same thing with Jamel. Jamel was undisputed at 154, and Canelo hit him and shit. Jamel was like, hell no. Jamel took a knee, So it's a big difference. And Crawford had that one fight at 154, and he didn't, Madrimov would touch him up a little bit. And this is nowhere close to Madrimov. You talk about Canelo. Now, if it was just another bigger guy, I would go with Crawford. But you talk about this might be, people might kill me for it, but well, not really, but this might be the best Mexican fighter ever. One of them, at least, right?
Jose Vargas Jr., who sparred Crawford, shares that skepticism, having felt Bud's punches firsthand. Vargas says Crawford is sharp and accurate, but not heavy-handed enough to trouble Canelo's iron chin. He argues that Alvarez has survived bigger punchers and won't be phased. Still, Vargas admits power isn't everything. Timing, precision, and consistency can wear down even the toughest fighters, but he doubts it'll be enough to keep Canelo from pressing forward.
Gonna be done in camp.
All we're doing is putting the final touches. I've been sparring Ron Ellis. This guy is a dog, bro. He's been getting me ready. He's been Canelo's sparring partner. Shout out to my guy Ron, man. He tries to knock me out every single sparring. This guy fights at 68. Big dude, goes southpaw, and hits hard. So I know he fought Benavidez. So he's a veteran. And he's doing veteran tactics in there where he's not letting me rest in the clinch. He's making me work every second of every round. And I got something for Callum. I got something for the whole boxing world. And I feel you're just as good as your preparation. And we've been doing the road work. We've been doing the mountain work. I've been recovering hard. I've been getting my rest. I haven't been drinking no dark sodas, bro. I'm feeling like Tyson Fury right now, bro. Like
Mickey Bay took it even further, accusing Canelo of cherry picking. He argues that Alvarez often chooses opponents at the right time or size, and in this case, saw an opportunity against a smaller Crawford moving up. Critics agree this may give Canelo a physical edge, sparking debates about fairness. But even Bay admits Crawford is too skilled to be dismissed. With his intelligence and adaptability,
that size comparison type of a thing to make it seem like it's not a type of cherry pick that he has to go up into this battle.
No, he a lot bigger. See, people looking at height. Height don't got nothing to do with weight and where you've been fighting at. Like, Terence put his weight on, so it's a difference. No, Canelo's a lot bigger, like, hands down. Like, just mass, as far as mass. He naturally that thick. He got to come down. Terence, just because your weight is up there, that don't mean that's like putting a dude, Benavidez, as a heavyweight. He might walk around at 205 or whatever. That don't mean he a heavyweight, though. So Canelo is by far the bigger man. We didn't seen him hit dudes 6'3", 6'2" in the arm and hurt him. Like, he didn't hurt Kovalev, light heavyweight. So I mean, didn't he have a light heavyweight title?
Well, when he fought Kovalev?
Just period at light heavyweight. Didn't Canelo win the light? Did he?
Nah, he just Kovalev. That's it.
Oh, okay. Well, he might have only fought there a couple times, but the fact that he fought up there though, and he fought way up at light heavyweight, but he been at super middleweight for a minute, so he the bigger guy for sure. So really, he got to hurt Crawford. Or he got to get his major respect. He got to get his major respect to make Crawford feel like he got to survive. If he can't do that, then he probably ain't gonna win.
Do you feel like you was talking about Crawford? He needs to poke his way out of this fight, right? We've seen that. Crawford's been lined up by lots of fighters. Not Errol Spence, of course, but other fighters that was able to line up with shots that don't necessarily hit like a Canelo. Now, Canelo gonna line you up regardless, right?
From when the fight got made, I've always fancied Crawford. I just think it's different. I think there's something about him. I think if you add what Crawford's good at, his brain, he can switch. He's very good as a southpaw. His judgment of distance is fantastic. His punch picking is fantastic. He's got good legs. When you add what, and he can pop. I mean, listen, I'm not saying he's got the power to hurt Canelo, but he might have the power to surprise Canelo a little bit and just sting him But when you look at what Crawford does well, and then I look at this version of Canelo, as Canelo's got on, his punch rate's gone down.
some say Canelo's size and chin make him untouchable. Others believe Crawford's skill, adaptability, and drive will be too much. But what do you think? Can Bud Crawford pull off the biggest upset of his career, or will Canelo Alvarez once again prove why he's one of boxing's biggest stars? Drop your predictions below. Smash that like button and subscribe for more breakdowns like this. Until next time, fight fans, stay tuned.